Still do it the same way. When you send in your essay, I just need to know who you are, what grade you're in, and what your instrument is. Because the other thing we got to consider is how many people we want to necessarily route from each section, if they're going to be a drum major. And Monticello, this isn't just for STMA kids. Monticello kids can do this exact same thing. In fact, I will tell you right now, at least one drum major will be from Monticello. At least one. Could mean there'd be more, but at least one. All right, decisions will be made sometime in March. So obviously, if all of the essays come in by the end of February, hopefully we'll be able to disseminate the input of the staff and be able to come up with some decisions in probably late March. All right, booster fees, band camp, and volunteering. I'm going to turn it over to our band booster president, Hillary Johnson.
Hi there, as Josh said, I am Hillary Gondler. My son Joey is on the drum line, and this is his 4th year. And then our older son, who graduated in 2021, was also on the drum line for 5 years. So I have been involved in marching band since the very beginning, volunteering, and this is my 3rd year on the board. So that's my background with the band. Anybody who has a child in the band program is a booster. You're invited to any meetings that we have to just come and sit and listen, provide any input that you have. And those meetings are on the 3rd Tuesday of every month in the health room down by the AC. We send out communication once we get close to the season on a weekly basis, and we'll put the days of our meetings and the time, so you're welcome to join at any time if you just want to come see what we're talking about or what's going on with the boosters. Communication, Josh will display a QR code at the end of the meeting. This will help us gather all of your contact information. We'll send out a recap of the meeting later this week, and then we also send out weekly communication, like I said, as the season gets closer. So please try to fill out that form tonight before you leave. Volunteer information. All families will be required to volunteer again this season. That was something that was new last year. We required all families to volunteer for 2 volunteer activities. This year we're going to up that to 3 activities. We have plenty of things to help with, donating snacks, drinks, supplies, helping with uniform fittings, helping at parades, at band camps, sorting products from fundraisers, working meat raffles, helping with our Friendly City Days barbecue fundraiser, and there's a whole slew of other things that you can help with. All families will also be required to provide a $250 check that will only be cashed if you don't fulfill your activities. How it works for families is if you have 1 child or 3 children in the marching band, you still only have to volunteer for 3 activities. So if you have multiple kids, you don't have to double or triple that.
One parade?
Yep, that information will come out later, how you will determine what to sign up for activities. We'll have some requirements on how many things from each section you have to do. For fees for marching band, as Mr. Cornell said and Josh said, the marching band fee you will register through Affinity or Monticello through your system. That fee was doubled this year, so that'll be a $300 fee. And then there is a band camp / booster fee that is approximately $35. And what is typically included with that is 2 show shirts. And you can hand up or show that show shirt right there. So this is what a show shirt is. Every kid will get 2 of these shirts, and they usually wear them at every parade underneath their uniform. So when they take it off and they go to the doors, we all look the same. And then it has the dates of the parades and the parades on the back. We get a lot of questions about what a show shirt is. Kids will also get 2 pairs of gloves. So they typically wear 1 pair of gloves through the first half of the season, and then they're filthy dirty and you get thrown away. And then they wear the second pair the second half of the season. All kids get a set of dog tags or a dog tag, and that just has the season year, the name of the show, and then STMA on it. And so a lot of kids collect those from year to year. And then it also includes any first aid, supplies, incidentals, snacks, and games that we have throughout band camp. Marching shoes cost approximately $40 if you are purchasing new shoes. Once practices start, we will fit all kids who are new to marching band for marching shoes, and we will ask parents to come to that fitting so that you know what your kids are purchasing. We also have a number of donated older shoes that kids can pick up for free if you would prefer to get those instead of paying for new shoes. We will do a bulk order for the shoes. We've looked into having families purchase them on their own, but we have found that it is about $15 alone just for shipping for one pair of shoes, and we can get a better deal if we order them all together. Cymbal gloves are approximately $12, and then are we going to do bass drum gloves this year? Potentially, okay. And then there might be other sections that might have different gloves as well. Color guard will have additional fees based on the costume, which has not been determined yet. And then all fees are subject to change based on what we find from the vendor, but these are just the approximate fees based on what we've looked into in the past couple weeks. Final invoices will vary depending on the section that you're in and will be sent out before band camp. And all fees are required to be paid before the first day of band camp. And again, we'll send out communication on a weekly basis. If we don't have your fees paid, we'll send those out a few weeks beforehand just so you're aware of what has been paid and what hasn't been paid and what we're still missing. If you want any additional information or you're looking to communicate with the band boosters, we do have an email address. It's stmabandboosters@gmail.com. And you can email us if you have any other questions. Thank you.
That was creepy, sorry. That was
All right, and kind of on a similar note, I want to thank our band boosters. This has been probably the most easy to work with, productive group of boosters that I've actually been a part of in my 6 years. So thank you all that are currently boosters. And if you're considering it, we have no limit on how many boosters we can have or things like that. So the more the merrier. It just kind of helps with the planning and thinking of the season as it goes. So now I want to turn it over to Jamie Hansen. She is in charge of our fundraising.
I'm doing fundraising again this year. Real quick, can you remind me, can the marching band fee be paid with fundraising money? No, with the $40 and the okay. So, we don't have a trip this year. We are going to be selling the men's greenhouse again, and then the Pizza Better Brain fundraiser again. So it'll be the same time frame as last year. So in March to beginning of April, and then pickup for the Pizza and Better Brains will be towards the end of April, and then plans. These were super successful last year. Last year we sold $37,000 worth of product. So that was amazing. And so we will go forward with those two again this year. They were the most successful. So I think that people really liked them, and I really like the idea of people getting in the habit of buying their plants from band students every year. It will just have reoccurring customers. So you will be getting more information as that becomes available. And then we also have, we are doing the meat raffle at Berlin Toys every second Thursday night of the month from now until June. And so if you want to volunteer, we have volunteer spots open. Otherwise, just come and support us. It's really a fun night out, and everybody really enjoys it. Any questions about fundraising? The one thing that will be a change from last year is last year, everybody just turned in all their checks and cash and just made out STMA band boosters. Well, I was walking around with bags of like $5,000 in cash, and that was not comfortable for me. So this year, what we're going to do is we're going to have mom and dad write out one check for the entire amount. So, you know, mom and dad can have the checks made out to them, collect the cash, and then just cut us one check, because between me and Cora Colleen, it was like literally like 3 days of her to write out one deposit slip for, you know, $37,000 in, you know, some people turning quarters. So that will be our one ask this year, and then I am here. If you have any questions about fundraising, but just look for information from me regarding those opportunities. And then if you don't use, if you raise a bunch of money this year and you pay your fees that you're eligible with, we can carry that money over, because then next year will be a trip year. So just keep that in mind as well, that, you know, you have, you know, 2 rounds to earn your trip money for next year. All right, thanks guys.
So just for your guys' reference, both Hillary and Jamie and also staff will be hanging out here after the meeting. So if there's questions or, hey, don't write that info or whatever, come down, talk to us, and we'll do our best to help you out. All right. This is probably the moment that almost every single student in here is waiting for, the show music. All right, I will say the music is here in hand. Well, not physically here. I guess it is on my phone, but anyways, we have the music. It is ready for dissemination to the directors this week. All right? It's a definite step up compared to last year's selection. Okay? Last year's selection was fairly easy. It was pretty basic. It was written in a pep band style, so it was easy to play, easy to learn. This year's music is a definite step up from that. It highlights almost every single section in the band. It's definitely, from an instrumentation standpoint, it showcases our band, and there's a lot of visual opportunities for the color guard with the music as well. So this arrangement is more of a complete show. Last year was more 3 Star Wars themed pep band songs put together with a little drum break in between. This year, the music we're actually playing is part of a much larger show. We're only going to play a snippet of the show. And this year we'll have a more challenging drill book. And what I mean by that is our movement on the street. Last year was pretty basic, and we did that for several reasons. One, it was our first major competitive year since COVID. We had a lot of people that it was their first time in band. So we intentionally chose to keep the show basic from a music standpoint and basic from a marching standpoint, but still kind of have a little bit of fun. This year, it's going to be a definite step up. So if you marched last year and you thought the show was good, kind of vanilla but good, this year we're going to have some sprinkles on it. Okay, we're gonna have some fun with it. And the reason we're doing this is it's going to put us in a better position to compete and try to break that number. Now, those of you that marched last year, do you remember what that number was? Nick, what was the number?
80.
The Alexandria.
Raise your hand.
So, 80.
80.
Reason 80 is such a special number, that was the highest that the STMA Knights have ever scored in marching band. And that was back in 2018. So our goal this year is to break 80. And again, I'll throw that out there, the same thing. If we break 80, I'll have to catch you in my head. No eyebrows. All right, so the music you're about to hear, I like to call it a skeleton. This, we've got as you hear it, we actually have the music that is written.
Yeah, I know.
Now, it's going to be up to us, the staff, to tweak and modify that music because there are some things that we necessarily can't do, and you'll hear it in the recording. Like, there's some pit mallet parts. We can't march a xylophone and marimba down the street with us. Okay, we can. The rationale is okay, so, like I said earlier, we're going to work with the band directors, both Mr. DeLuca up at Monticello and Mr. Bartini and Mr. Soroka here at St. Michael. We're going to get the music in their hands so they can disseminate it out to you guys. Yes, and it is also going to Jordan Hines, and I will make sure that DeLuca gets it to the 8th graders at Monticello as well, because they are welcome to march with us. Yes?
Have you talked to the Monticello 8th graders?
I have not. So that is one thing that I'm going to work with Mr. DeLuca on and try to get in there and talk to them about it. All right, so you guys want to hear the music? All right, you guys.
I thought you said there was a slide with it on.
Yeah.
Is there a slide with it on?
How did
To watch it. Yes.
I'm Nick. Like Josh was saying, we're going to do some tweaking on all that stuff. So I've already been trying to write the drill that we're going to be doing. Last year I wrote the drill in an hour. That's what we said. Last year was it was a stepping stone to something greater. And we had to. So this year I spent more than an hour, so at least 2 already. So that means I already spent twice as much time on the drill, so it's going to be way better. But what I'm trying to say is I've already done some tweaking to the score. So that means the music that you're going to get is going to be pretty darn close, but there's going to be like a measure here, a measure there, that will be adjusted in counting. So yeah, practice it and have fun with it, but when you get it tomorrow or the next day, don't go home and be like, I'm going to memorize it A to whatever, because then when we add the measure, delete the measure, you're not going to be happy with me. So, that's I just wanted to say that, like Josh was saying, we're going to do some tweaking.
All right, so the theme this year. is called Pirates Adventure. So, this is obviously pirate theme music, but it's not like your Pirates in the Caribbean type, or Caribbean, however you want to pronounce it. It's not the Johnny Depp Pirates music. Okay? So, which is, it's nice because A, it's not as recognizable, but B, it's recognizable that you know it's pirates. If that makes sense. So, without further ado, here is a pirate's adventure.
Celtic Hurricane.
As you heard, that was definite step up from last week's music. Definite opportunities to highlight different sections. It leaves color wide open from as far as costumes to, I've already got ideas for costumes for not just the color guard, but for the band.
What?
Kind of make things a little bit less hot for you guys. But they're all kind of percolating in here. And we'll kind of see what happens when we get there this summer. So, like I mentioned, if you have questions, anybody have any questions right now that they want to just kind of throw out? Yes, Cam.
What was our highest score last year?
I don't remember. It was like, I think it was like 76 or something like that. And I want to say it was the parade right before Alex. Close, but yeah.
Are we going to be using the Remind app again?
Yes, I actually have that. Thank you. So, here's the QR code that Kelly mentioned. So if you have your phone, snap the QR code. It'll take you right to the Google form. This is a participant information form. This will help us communicate with you. This will help with both parent and student. It'll help get us an idea of instrumentation before we actually get together and have hormone practices. Remind codes. So, text the code to 81010 if you're a student. Now, we split these on purpose. Students are going to have their own Remind category. Parents are going to have their own. Reason being is we're capped with the number of people we can have in a particular category, and it's 150. So obviously, if we're marching 80 to 90 kids, you can't have 80 to 90 kids and one parent for all 80 to 90 kids out there. So one just for students, one just for parents. If I communicate to the students, the parents will be copied of. Yes.
When you type the code into the Remind app, it says it's archived.
You have to make a new text.
In the Remind app.
No,
I just-
in the Remind app.
Yeah, you already have
Just, okay, hold on. Just like, go to like your texting something.
Still doesn't work.
It still doesn't work.
Yeah, I just texted and it didn't work.
It just worked for a month. It worked up when I was up at Monticello.
I don't know.
Okay.
Did you change that?
All right, I'll take a look at it, once we're done here. I'm not sure why it's not working. I'll double check the Remind app on that.